Record. Okay, so today's workout, let me move this so I can make sure I don't lie to you guys. Okay, today's workout is going to be, the workout itself is going to be pretty quick, but we're going to spend a lot of time working mobility and a lot of time working on the actual movement. So today's workout is going to be 4 rounds for time of 8 overhead squats with your right hand, 30 Russian swings, 8 overhead squats with your left hand, and 30 Russian twists. That's not, all those movements are going to go by fairly quickly, and it's only 4 rounds, so it's not going to be that bad. But again, I want to really do a good job of prepping for that because the single arm overhead squat can be very hard. So let's warm up a little bit. You're going to grab your stick, and first things first, we're just going to warm up those shoulders with one of my favorite warm-ups of getting that nice wide snatch grip. You're going to pull this up as high as you can while keeping it close to your body. Rotate it up, and then press up. When you press up, try and pull your shoulder blades back and really shrug up a little bit. Get a little stretch there too. And then you're going to reverse that. Okay, just keep going until I say stop, pretty much. Oh. The main, well, I guess I should say the main mobility that we have to work on today, but the overhead squat's going to challenge just about everything if you want to do it well. Because basically, if your shoulders are tight, the weight's not going to be overhead. If your thoracic spine is hunched over, you're not going to be comfortable overhead. And if your hips are tight, your torso is not going to be upright enough. And if your ankles are tight, your torso is not going to be upright enough. So it takes a combination of all of those things to really have a good overhead position for the single arm overhead squat. Go ahead and give your shoulders a little break. Put the stick down. Let's pick that up in another moment. Go ahead and give me some squats. Spend a few moments in the bottom every rep, and you can kind of wiggle around down there. My ankles are super tight because it's no secret that I hate running. I'm not a runner. I used to be pretty good at it, but I haven't really consistently ran for a long time. So yesterday I ran. Oh. And the thing that I've always noticed when I run is like my lungs are fine. You know, I don't, it doesn't really challenge my heart rate too much. It doesn't challenge my breathing. I just don't run consistently enough to have my ankles conditioned to it. So I get into halfway through a run or like a mile in or so, and my ankles are just dying. So today they're super tight. So these squats are really nice to stretch that out. Let's go ahead and stay in the bottom of that squat. Put your elbows on the inside of your knees and press them together. Go ahead and lean one knee forward, and you can kind of wiggle that around a little bit. So this is super tight for me right now. Let's switch. Yeah, I used to be good at running. I had, go ahead and take a seat. Grab your ankles and then shove your knees down. So yeah, I had a personal training client. Well, I trained like their whole family. And the daughter, the parents really wanted her to do track. So they asked me if I can, you know, help her get better at running. And so basically I would just run with her for like 2.5 or 3 miles a few times a week. I'm just telling them about back when I used to run.
Oh, yeah. Those times.
Put one leg out, cross it over, give it a hug. So it turns out when you run consistently, you get better at running. Who would have thought, right?
Not me.
But I was never super good. Like, I think I ran a 5K in like 21 minutes back when I did that, which is pretty okay. It's not like amazing. That's okay. Sprinting I was always better at. Okay. Go ahead and stand up. Grab that broomstick again. From here, you're going to shrug your shoulders out and bring this all the way around. Oh, yeah. And all the way back. Like I said, we're going to do a lot of prep for today. We want everything to be all loosey-goosey for those single arm overhead squats. And if we still can't do the single arm overhead squats, that's no big deal. We can just scale it to like a single arm front squat. Keeping this, you're going to put this in your back. You're going to go to a squat. And then you're going to try and keep your chest up as best you can. Don't like let it look at the floor like so, but try and almost arch your back a little bit to bring this up. And just give me some presses in the squat. Despite common misconception, this is not a SOTS press. A SOTS press would be a clean grip in front, and you would press from there, and I can't really do it. It's too far forward. We're just doing a behind the neck press in a squat. Go ahead and stand that up. Give that a break. From here, we're going to get some rotation going. So we're going to go to the greatest stretch in the world. We're going to have one foot forward. Opposite hand is your foot's going to be on the floor. Back knee is going to be up. Your other hand is going to reach up toward the ceiling. That's going to dive through underneath your other armpit. You can go back and forth. So this will get your hip and your back at the same time. Got a little crack there, actually. You guys haven't noticed, I'm a little mumbly today.
It's all good.
Helps pass the time, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead and switch. So, switch your hands and switch your feet. And do the same thing. Go ahead and stand up. We're almost there. Almost. There's 2 more things I want to do. We're going to rotate a little bit more. So this time we're going to do it from a squat. So you go into that squat. Your right hand is going to grab your left ankle. And then the other hand, you're going to dive that shoulder forward. I'm sorry, not forward, but down. And then you're going to open it up and reach up. This is going to be a really good one for the overhead squat. I'll have you know, about 10 minutes before this class started, or before I turned the camera on, I attempted an overhead squat with a light kettlebell, and I'm like, this isn't happening. So I'm hoping, go ahead and switch sides. I'm hoping all this warm-up is going to be enough for me as well to get this done. Worst case scenario, we can help ourselves out if we have it by adding lifting shoes. That'll reduce the amount of range of motion you need in your ankle, make the whole thing easier. I might use lifting shoes for the workout regardless, we'll see. Okay. Go ahead and just kind of shake that out. I'm already feeling a little bit better. So here's the deal. Really quick, the workout is 3 movements. Single arm overhead squat, Russian swings, and Russian twists. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the swings or the twists. I'm just going to knock them out super fast. For the swings, you're going to have a nice straight back off the hips, and they're just Russian. So only about, solar plexus height is fine. 30 of those, going to be no problem at all. Russian twists, we're going to be on our bum, have a light weight, and you're going to have only your bum on the floor. Everything else is going to be off the floor. And you're going to rotate like so. I try and keep the count simple, so one side is 1 rep. So it's actually only 15 on each side, goes by really fast. And then the single arm overhead squats. So as the name implies, we're going to have a weight up above our head, and we're going to try our best to overhead squat with that weight. So I'm going to grab this light kettlebell to start. And the way we get it up over our head is really any way that you want. I don't really care. You can snatch it, you can clean and jerk it, depending on how tired you are. You might end up clean and jerking if you're more tired. But I'm just going to start this off by bringing this above my head like so, squeezing your belly nice and tight. I like to have my other hand out for balance, and taking a deep breath in to get everything tight and set is going to help a lot. Now, what's nice about the kettlebell, I'm sure from the side, because the nature of the kettlebell, this is a little bit easier than the dumbbell, because the kettlebell is already weighted a little bit backwards like this. So the center of gravity is going to be slightly in back of my arm. If I had, say, a dumbbell, which I don't, but pretend this is a dumbbell, I would have to have my arm more back this way to get the center of gravity, more above my feet. Does that make sense? Kettlebell sits back a little bit. So, with that in mind, grab a weight, or no weight. You can just put your hand above your head if you want, and you're going to try and squat. Let's try that first, actually. Let's do the no weight. Just put one hand above your head, and really try and pull this in back as much as you can. Other hand's going to be out for balance. And what you want to do is try and sit your hips almost as straight down as you can to try and keep your torso as upright as possible. Go ahead and give that a try. How's that feel?
Easy with no weight.
Easy with no weight? Okay, try the other hand. This is my problem hand.
Yep, that's my stupid side.
Yep, mine too. Not so bad with no weight. Grab a weight. I'm gonna stay with this nice little light one. It's 12 kilo. Get it above your head any way that you like. Take that deep breath in, and then squat. And then try the other hand. And this one's always a problem side. Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. Notice, take a look at me from the side, okay? The more upright my torso is, the easier this is gonna be in your shoulder, okay? So if I set my hips way back like this, my torso is gonna be more bent over. And then if I put my hand up, my hand is way out in front, so I can't support any weight up there. So even if I try and really crank this back, it's not gonna happen. So I need to be able to shove my knees forward so my torso can be a little bit more upright and the weight can be above my feet, okay? So really try and stay as straight up and down as you can. And that's gonna require ankles being able to move forward. It's gonna require hips to be able to open up to each side, because if my knees come in, so look at me from the side, my knees are going to be pointing out and my hips are fairly forward. If my knees come in, it pushes my hips back, and that's going to make it all hard. My back needs to be able to extend slightly, and my shoulder is going to have to be able to open up. So it's a really demanding movement. So in order to make this a little bit easier for myself, I'm going to put on my lifters, because I have not been able to put these on for quite some time. How long have we been quarantined?
Too long.
Something like that.
The Monday night that Governor Cuomo announced that, you know, all gyms are mandated to be closed, that night we weightlifted. I don't think that was the last time I put these on, though. I think there was one day. Was there one day? I don't know. It's been a while, is all I'm trying to say. Oh, but I wouldn't give to snatch a barbell right now. My neighbors are probably going to think there's a horse in here with the clopping that these will make. So now, with the lifters, it has that raised heel. So I can really show my hips forward, and I can be very upright here. So I can like take this and just press it up. Still hard, but a little bit more manageable. Any questions on that?
On each side.
We're gonna do 8 at a time on each side. So the workout is 4 rounds for time, 8 overhead squats with the right arm, 30 Russian swings, 8 overhead squats with the other arm, and 30 Russian twists. Only for 4 rounds. So,
Round?
I'm sorry?
That's one round?
That's 1 round. Yep. So if you think about this, 30 Russian swings is gonna take about a minute. 30 Russian twists is gonna take, I don't know, 30 seconds. So that's already what, 6 minutes. And then 8 overhead squats isn't gonna take that long. It's probably gonna take more than 2 seconds, but if we just think like 40 seconds or a minute to do both sides, we're looking at like a 10-minute workout-ish. Not so bad, right?
If you say so.
Now, as for me, I'm also going to be using 2 different weights. I'm going to keep the overhead squat nice and light. So I got the 12 kilo for that. And then I'm going to have the swings a little bit heavier. So I'm going to use the 24 kilo for that. So twice as heavy for the swings as I'm doing with the squat. And you can, by all means, switch the weight around if you have the capability to do so. Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to grab a quick swig of water because I've been very talky today. Water. All right. 4 rounds for time. 8 overhead squats, 30 swings, 8 overhead squats, 30 twists. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Sucks even with lightweight. 30 swings. I learned that running yesterday. My legs. Going for 8 with the other arm. Ooh, that's off. All right. Quick Russian quests. All right, quarter of the way up. Oh boy. Other side. Whew. A little bit better that time. Warming it up. Halfway done. Oh. Oh. All right. Halfway done. Come on. Hard side. All right. All right. Okay, 3/4 done. You guys got it. Last one with the right hand. Ooh. All right. That's satisfying. Down strengths. Last set of overhead squats. And well done. You guys got it. Finish it up. You guys gotta be close.
I'm all set.
All set? Sweet. Kathy, you good?
Yep.
Sweet. How was that?
It was fun.
I realized I couldn't go down as far on my left side.
Right. It was hard
Yeah.
on the left.
Yeah, my left is definitely harder than my right. Absolutely. Let's see. Looks like that took a little bit longer than 10 minutes. I forgot exactly what time we started, but there's probably between like, I don't know, 11 and 14 minutes if I were to guess. I guess we can look at the video afterwards if we really care. Uh-oh. Someone's got a phone call.
Thank you, Jackie.
All right. Before we go, all I want to do is one stretch. Although it's not really a stretch, it's more of a stabilization exercise. The armbar stretch, you can do this with or without weight. If you've never done this before, try it without weight first. Okay? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a kettlebell. Let me show you on this side. You're gonna take a kettlebell, and you press it up almost like you're about to Turkish get a bit, right? Then, same side leg as your hand is gonna post up like this. And then, you're gonna push off this foot, and you're gonna just get onto your side, and you're gonna let this top leg, you're just gonna let this kind of roll over, and you're gonna try and get both hips to the floor. Now, what's going on here at the shoulder is I'm retracting the shoulder blade. I'm pulling the shoulder blade toward the spine. And I don't know if you can see it on the video, but there's little tiny adjustments that my shoulder has to do in order to keep this stable, okay? And that's the work. Basically, we're just getting the muscles to practice stabilizing this thing away from our body. And I will normally hold this for about a minute. We're not gonna do it for a full minute today, but we're gonna practice going in and out of this movement. So to get back out, the same leg that you rolled over with, keep the knee on the floor, point the toes up towards the ceiling. And then the whole leg is just gonna roll back over to that starting position. Okay, so if you watch me again, I'm gonna push off the floor with this leg. It's gonna get me onto my side. And I'm just gonna roll that leg over, nice and smooth. And I'm gonna try and get that hip as close to the floor as I can. And then from here, point the toes to the ceiling, keep them on the floor, and then roll it back. That's a great shoulder stability exercise, great range of motion exercise. And I'm gonna do it on the other side now. So I'm gonna bring this kettlebell down. I'm gonna flip it to the other hand. I'm gonna put this up. This other hand can just be out of the way up here. The same side leg is my hand, that's up, is gonna push against the floor. It's gonna push me onto my side, and then I'm gonna just let that leg roll over. I'm gonna get that hip as close to the floor as I can. And while I'm here, I focus on pulling, retracting the shoulder blade in toward the spine. And again, I would normally hold this for about a minute. We're not gonna do it for quite that long today. But this is wonderful. One of my favorite exercises. Great for shoulder stability. Great for range of motion too, actually, of that shoulder. And it's a little bit of a stretch for the back too. That's not really our purpose for this, but it's kind of an added bonus. You get a little bit of a stretch for the back. And when it's time to come back over, the same leg that rolled over, keep the knee in the floor, point the toe up, and then roll it back over to the starting position. I'm gonna do that one more time. So I'm gonna push against the floor, roll over the leg, get the hip down, retract the shoulder blade. I'm gonna come back, toes pointed up, roll it back over until I'm back to the starting position. And then I can, with two hands, put this kettlebell down. Always two hands picks it up, two hands puts it down. How are we doing? We good with that? Armbar stretch. It's one of my favorite ones. Learned it from Jeff Martone. That's all I got for you guys. I'm sweaty.
Man.
Oh, those single-armed overhead squats, they kicked my butt. All right. I forget what I programmed for tomorrow, but I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful workout. Have fun with that. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Eat something good. Have a good day. Bye-bye.